Okay. So, shloka number 178, 179, 180. You are saying, in reality, I am not suffering at all. In reality, I am consciousness, I am Brahman, I am peaceful. But my experience, I am suffering. You taught me Tattvamasi, but my suffering has not gone. Still, I am suffering. Just because I understood very clearly what you taught. Okay? I understood very clearly what you taught. Huh? But my suffering has not gone. I'm still suffering. So, from this, can I conclude that my Atma is free from suffering, which based on whatever you told, I am concluding. But my experience of suffering is not gone. The experience of suffering, what you are going through, is an appearance. When somebody sees a rope and mistakes it for a snake, there's too much of suffering. The fear is there. But with the knowledge that it's not a snake, it's a rope, suffering disappears. Now, after that, again, if you see the snake, because lighting condition, rope may appear like a snake, but you're not afraid. So, from this, it is clear that wrong understanding can be corrected with right understanding. From this example, all right? So, similarly, there's a water I'm seeing in mirage, mistaking it for water and trying to go and take water. Somebody tells, no, it's not water, it's mirage. There's no water there. So the wrong understanding can be corrected with the right understanding. Right now we have a wrong understanding that I am suffering. I am superimposing the body, mind, and intellect on the self. That's wrong understanding. It can be corrected through right understanding.
No, what you started is I got the right understanding.
No, I'm saying wrong understanding can be corrected right understanding. Still the suffering continues. Okay? The suffering has an end. It may take some time, but it will end. For example, in dream, you saw a dream tiger and started running. Okay? They're afraid. Somebody tells you it's a dream tiger. Okay? You may not stop running. You may be still scared in the dream. But the moment you wake up from the dream, okay, the dream suffering goes. The teaching has happened in the dream. It's not real tiger, it's a dream tiger, it's told. But still you are afraid and you're running. But on waking up, you realize that it is the dream tiger, whatever the person told in the dream was a dream tiger. Okay. There's no suffering for me now because dream tiger has disappeared.
So inside the dream he didn't realize.
No, inside dream only he told. Okay, but still you kept on running because your fear of tiger didn't allow you to stop. But the moment you woke up, the dream came to an end. The dream tiger disappeared. Okay, the suffering came to an end. So we are saying the suffering can end in two ways. In some cases or many cases, just by right knowledge, suffering can end. For example, somebody is searching for water in the desert, but right knowledge, he will not search. Somebody is looking at a snake in the rope and he is afraid, and right knowledge stops. Some suffering can stop with the right understanding. Okay. Some suffering can end when that experience period is over, like a dream experience ends and you come to waking experience, your suffering ends. So what was there was a momentary. The dream experience, after waking up, you realize it was a momentary, it's an illusion. Okay. But after waking up, you realize. So the suffering ends in two situations. One is the right knowledge, sometimes it ends directly, or sometimes it ends when this experience ends. Yes or no?
So you're saying
Wait. So there are two situations. One is with the right knowledge, suffering can be elevated
Inside the dream.
inside the dream also. Inside your experience also. No, your experience is a snake and you say it's not a snake, your fear is gone. Sometimes it will take some time for the dream or experience to end, then suffering ends. Okay. So there are these are the two situations. So if your suffering has not ended right now because of the teaching, then the teaching also points out to you that your real nature is not suffering by looking at the analogy of waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. In deep sleep state, there's no world, there's no body, there's no mind, there's no suffering, there's a bliss. So in your whole experience of waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, there are some periods of suffering and there are periods of no suffering. Okay. And the periods of no suffering is telling about your true nature. So as you become more and more aware of periods of no suffering, you become free. Earlier, your attention was entirely focused on the suffering only. Between thoughts, there's a gap where there's silence, there's no suffering. Between waking state, dream state, there's a gap. Between dream states, deep sleep state, there's a gap. And deep sleep state, there's no suffering, there's bliss. So now your attention goes to not just suffering, the gaps between suffering, and in that your natural state is exposed. You start understanding your natural state more clearly. So this will end your suffering. Earlier, your attention was entirely getting focused on the suffering itself. Any questions? Do you want me to repeat?
No, no.
It's clear?